Hello, and welcome back to another episode of When She Gonna Cook For You. Here's what you do. I'm Moore, as you know me as, and today we got Chef Claude on the show. Chef Claude, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It took a minute to get him on, but patience is the game. This Chef Claude is doing a lot of amazing things. If you go on his Facebook page, brother's traveling all over the place. Amazing dishes, but I was able to nail him down and get him on the show. Chef Claude, what are you making for us today?
So what we're making today is my version of a Rasta pasta using rigatoni and cheddar cheese. It's gonna be nice and spicy. I think you're gonna love it.
Listen, y'all know I'm greedy, so I'm already excited about all of that. I'm gonna get out of his way. As you see, we're in a real deal belly of the beast kitchen. The heat is on, the heat is happening, and this is just how it's going down. When She Gonna Cook For You, Chef Claude, today we're Uptown Manhattan. He's gonna show us what to do. People, we'll be right back.
All right, so how to make Rasta Pasta and Salads Rasta pasta. So we start with our hot pan. Always should be hot. We want to throw in a little bit of heavy cream. You want to throw a little bit of cheese. Now I use the mixed cheese because I want to make a nice bechamel with this cheese. Also, we're going to throw some of this jerk chicken that we grilled and then pulled off the bone. Now, a lot of people might be asking, why are you throwing everything in at once? You'll see. The flavors come together. Now, I don't know if any of you guys watch that, shows I will not name that are about opening restaurants and cooking, but this dish should be made in like 3 or 4 minutes. So I'll be moving kind of quick, and maybe they'll be able to slow-mo what I do here at a time. But as you can see, it's already starting to change color. The cheese is already melting. I'm gonna throw a little bit of butter in there because butter is always great. Who doesn't like butter, right? There's a little paprika, there's the mixed cheese, there's heavy cream, and then the butter actually helps the cheese and the cream combine. It's kind of like this old method of cooking. And as with anything that I do or that a lot of chefs do, it's all in history and all how your parents teach you. So you always want to just watch your sauces, you always want to watch it. You don't want to have too high of a flame. You can already see that I'm starting to get a nice cheese sauce there. All right, we're getting this going. We're gonna do a little bit of salt and some secret sauce, like some pepper sauce, and a little bit of jerk goes in this as well, because it wouldn't be Rasta pasta if you don't have some spice, right? Yeah, man. So, now we have our sauce. We're gonna get our pasta to go in. We'll be right back. All right, so we got our cheese sauce here going. It's nice and spicy, it's nice and flavorful. It tastes Caribbean. And the thing is that's why I say Caribbean, because my parents are from Antigua and Barbuda, and I represent Antigua and Barbuda a lot. I'm a food ambassador for the island for a few years now. But some advice that I had received was that don't just say Antigua and Barbuda, say the Caribbean, because we're representing each other in the diaspora. It's never just one thing, one person, one dish. It's all about the food that our parents made and we grew up on. Just like anyone from the South, just like anyone from any other country, you make the food that you grew up eating. Whether it's delicious, whether it looks funny, whether it's a weird color. There is a dish called fungi in Antigua and Barbuda that we eat. It's essentially cornmeal and okra polenta. and we make it into a ball, and we have that with fish and soups and stews. And when I was young, I used to say it was a green blob. I didn't want to eat it. I was terrified. And now it's something that defines who I am, my heritage. It's an indigenous and national dish of the place where my parents were both born. So even though I don't sound like it, I am full-blooded Caribbean. Both of my parents are from parishes in Antigua, one called Freetown Village, which is in the sticks, and one called Old Road Village, which my mom had 14 brothers and sisters, so a really big family. And it turns out that, Antigua is such a small island that you end up having family that you didn't even know. So I came up with this dish because, don't get me wrong, the traditional Rasta pasta with peppers and onions, absolutely delicious. However, the biggest goal of mine is not only to bring attention to the island of Antigua and Barbuda, but to push the envelope of what our food can really do. I also am a certified Neapolitan pizza maker for the APN, the Association Napolitani Pizzaiola, and I was lucky enough to get certified by Roberto Caprizio from Queso in New York. So I have a love for Italian food that people don't even realize, and I can make pizza with the best of them. But the thing that would really open my eyes is that it's all connected, from my Caribbean roots to Italian roots. Scungilli is conchs. We eat goat, they eat goat. We eat lamb, they eat lamb. There's so many things. There were whole fish dishes, like it's bronzino and snapper, but they both come from overseas in Mediterranean waters and beautiful colors and all of this. And believe it or not, a lot of food that is not made in the United States tastes way different. That's not to knock the United States, but one example I would give you is my brother's allergic to shrimp here in the States, but when he goes back to Antigua, he can eat all the shellfish that he wants. So that answered a really big question for me. And so my mission is to make food that sustains us, not food just to make money. And that doesn't make me the richest person in the world, but I'm definitely happy. I would advise anybody to live that way, because if you live for the money, you don't find happiness. So we got here. I know I wanted this to be done fast, but I also want whoever's tasting this to look at me crazy as soon as they taste it. So here's what we got. We got our cheese sauce, a nice thick cheese sauce made with mixed cheddar cheese, heavy cream, some pepper sauce, a little jerk seasoning, and then jerk chicken pulled off the bone. I like to use different pastas. I use rigatoni, I use cavatelli, and eventually what I'm going to be doing is making gnocchi Rasta pasta, which a lot of people are skeptical about, but I love the challenge. Currently I'm working on a dish that's a gluten-free dish, a gluten-free Rasta pasta using risotto. And see, that's what I'm talking about. You got to flip the script, because what was doesn't have to be. So we can really progress our food and any food as much as we can. So let's get a little plating here on this nice blue dish that I love with the contrast. A little tip: when you're serving food in restaurants, this is for any aspiring line cook, you don't pour the pan over the plate. What happens is the sauce ends up on one side and it looks like it's rushed. It shouldn't be like a landslide of sauce. You should be able to top just like that, and then when you're finished, all the sauce is sitting. As you can see, the way I'm putting it on top and it's falling, it's very saucy, but it's all sitting up, and you can see how it's glazed. Just a little, fancy schmancy tip. Okay, and here you go. You have your Rasta pasta chicken. Hi, so what we're gonna do for you now is a curry goat, our curry goat dish here at Rasta, and from my Freetown Road project, the restaurant that I used to have in New Jersey. So while I'm making this for you and explaining this, I'll just give you a little bit of feedback about myself. So I, of course, as I said before, I'm the son of two Antiguan immigrants, and I was born in Jersey City, New Jersey. So I am a Jersey boy. In 2019, I was able to get cast on a show called Food Network Chopped. And so, of course, anybody would say, I'm not going on that show, it's terrifying, and it absolutely was, absolutely terrifying. But what happens is you get to a point as a cook, as in your career, professional career, what have you, that you start to doubt yourself. And you work in places where there are professionals, and you know, let's just say that they don't respect you the way that they should because you're the new guy. I started working at a restaurant called Porta. It's run by the Smith Group. They have a few in the area. They have one in South Jersey, which people probably know, Porta Pizzeria. And then in Jersey City, they hired me to open the one in on Grove Street in downtown Jersey City. When they hired me, they said they want me, but they don't know where to put me. And I take that as a compliment to, you know, that they saw something in me. And so I had worked there for a year as a sous chef. That's where I got certified as a Neapolitan pizza maker. And they said I learned how to make pizza faster than anybody else they've ever seen. And so that kind of fueled me to say, you know what, this might be something that I want to get into. I had a good, you know, team with me, and a bunch of chefs. There was one chef that was already on Food Network Chopped. When I worked with her, you know, sometimes people have a little bit of an attitude that they get a little too big on themselves when they get that kind of opportunity. So it was almost like they were, he can't cook. I was a little bit older than him, maybe about several years older than him. And, you know, that feeling that your peers feel you can't do the job that is right next to them, it kind of hurts. You know, and so what I had done was I applied for the show. I said to myself, I know I'm good. I know that I know what I'm doing. And so, you know, I know a lot of people fight with this kind of thing. And so, like, I want to make sure that you know, if you feel down on yourself, if you feel that you're not enough, you are enough as long as you believe it. So I applied for the show. They actually called me a few days later and invited me in for an interview. And I interviewed with them. And the funny thing is the casting time takes a very long time. So they said the same thing. They wanted me for an episode, but they didn't know what episode. And I'm just like, what am I? You know, but it was still intriguing. And so what's crazy is I went through 2 years of interviews where they told me to sit up straight, look at the camera, say it in this way. And they almost trained me and groomed me to be able to be on TV. And which is why I'm able to speak so easily while I'm on camera, because the Food Network actually trained me to be on TV, which I appreciate, and I thank them like greatly, because it's helped me as a person be able to communicate even better. And so after 2 years, I didn't hear from them for another year. And then when I did hear from them, they asked me to if I can do a few dates. And this was another year and a half later. I thought they forgot about me. So now this is about 3.5 years into an interview process. So finally, when we went into the studio in December 2000, I think it was 16, and recorded, it was a 14-hour, you know, shoot, and it was great. It was everything that I thought it would be from watching the show for years, and luckily I came through as a Chopped champion. I represented Antigua and Barbuda with the food, with how I did things. This episode was called Gefilte Dish, so you could probably imagine what they gave to me. You know, in the first round I had gefilte fish, the second round I had pork, and the third round I had so many crazy things that I just did a rice pudding. And my judges were Marcus Samuelson, Amanda Freitag, and Scott Conan, which are all amazing chefs, and it was just amazing to be there. It was a boost to my confidence. I got to meet some friends that I'm still friends with now that are chefs from all over the United States. And one thing that Marcus Samuelson said to me, he said, "This is not it. Just because you win this, you got to keep stepping up the ladder. You have to keep using one as a step up to get to the next. Don't ever feel like you've made it." And I really continue to think that, and that's how I carry myself. I don't feel as if I've made it, no matter what I've done. I feel that there's still more to do. And I think that anybody in my position that thinks that way will get hit with the blessings, but also will make sure that they stay humble enough to receive those blessings, because good energy out brings good energy in. That's always what I believe. So a few other things now. I see this curry goat. When you're talking about food and when you're talking about you know, all of these things, this is what comes out. This curry that we make here, I make a vegetable curry by itself, separate. I don't cook the goat inside of the curry all the way because I feel that there's certain flavors that need to stand out. In Antigua, we do something called goat water or manish water, which has a lot of thyme and clove. And then we boil down the goat until it's tender. And in 100-degree weather, we'll be sipping on hot goat water because it's just not only good for you, but it's just so delicious. So that Antiguan dish is what I have put into this curry. So we've made a separate curry, and then we did the goat water, the manish water, and then I've added that goat to the curry. So now you get the clove, you get the thyme, but then separately you get the lentils, the carrots, the onions. It's a real rounded out flavor that you get. Because, you know, what I learned from my dad, who's the rice master, he doesn't like me making rice at any of my places. At my last restaurant, Freetown Road, he made the rice every day. I couldn't change the locks because he would find a way to get in there. And I think that things like that really warm my heart, and that's what makes me love food so much, because it makes everybody happy in one way, shape, or form. Even if you scroll on social media and you see something delicious, or you see somebody making something that transfers you back to childhood, you know, that's it. That makes you, that's the biggest marketing, but also that's the biggest uplifting, because, you know, that ratatouille moment, you want to remember these things. Food is very important. We're almost like doctors. You have to eat this food to sustain, you know, and I say that because someone like my brother, who is allergic to shrimp, here in the States, can go back to Antigua and eat as much shellfish as he wants. He had lobster, he had shrimp, he had crab, and we're over here thinking that he's going to get sick, but he didn't. And that's because all the food is from the island. Yes, some things are imported, but you don't need to import seafood because Antigua has so much seafood right there. They get the spiny lobster, they have the snapper. Yeah, it's in season, but it's straight from the ocean, no process, no preservatives, no anything. You know, as opposed to here in the States where some animals are grown, and that's not natural. So what happens is, to something that you wouldn't be allergic to, you are allergic to. So I have here, after we were talking, this curry goat with potatoes, carrots, and lentils. There's a bunch of other things in there, but it's totally melted down. And traditionally, you can have this with a roti or a bus-up shop, which we do show here, but that's a whole other emotional journey that I would have to take you on. Or you can have it on with rice and peas and you know, cabbage and some plantain. You got to have the plantain. Considered a Yankee, where I wasn't born on the island. Still, it's my heritage. It's something that really is important to me, and I hope that with these dishes that you see here, I can really explain that to you. And so we're back, and I wanted to really explain to you about where we are. I see that you see that we're in an actual, you know, culinary commercial kitchen. This here is my new restaurant, Rasta Pasta and Salads, which we want to turn into a chain. This idea has come from the past restaurant I had called Freetown Road Project, which we opened 6 weeks before COVID. And when we opened it, we had to shut it down. So basically our entire lease was a big struggle, you know, building out the kitchen. All of a sudden the zombie apocalypse happened and nobody was coming in, and we were too young to get funding and things like that. And so a lot of investment from my family, parents, myself, and, you know, and a lot of prayer really helped us be able to open that. And so after our lease was done, the landlord wanted to raise the rent, and, you know, we were just kind of tired. So we had to take a break for a year and close down that restaurant, which was a really sad time for us. We ended up being pretty popular, you know, in Jersey City, and in some of those areas people were asking us to open up in New York because they wanted to try our Rasta pastas and they, you know, the vibe and all of those kind of things. And of course, with me winning Food Network Chopped in 2019 and representing Antigua and Barbuda, we became a destination for not only the island, but I became a food ambassador and, you know, just someone of color who really is trying to be positive for our culture in general. And so after closing that, you know, I took a break, the family took a break. I did, you know, jobs in the Hamptons. I also I also teach at Hudson Community College in Jersey City in the fall and in the spring, which this fall I'll be teaching a few classes as well, and that's also where I graduated, so I'm an alumni of there. I'm very proud of that. As well as I do a lot of things for charity as well, as much as I can, because that's just how my family is. And now, after a year, I was connected with some folks that are up here in Fort George on St. Nicholas, 1548 St. Nicholas, where we are starting our first Rasta Pasta and Salads, which is, like I said, should be a chain. And the entire idea behind this is to kind of bring Caribbean food into an area where for 30 years there hasn't been. A lot of people have been stepping up to us and saying, thank you so much, thank you, Jesus. And, you know, I'm sorry to say that on here, but the neighborhood is really happy that we're here. And that means a lot, because you're supposed to be creating an impact. It's not about the superficial things, the outside things. I don't want to have a brand new car. I don't want to be, yes, I have, you know, some stain. I have a little bit of, you know, I'm being celebrated in a sense, but that's not the reason I'm doing it. I'm doing it because the food that I make and the food that I grew up on, I want everyone to know about it. I want to scream it on the top of the mountain. And so we're out here, and there is no Caribbean food within probably a quarter mile to a mile of anywhere in the Fort George and Washington Heights area. So, you know, the real idea is to bring Caribbean food to this area and do it right, authentically, and also spread the culture. I think that even someone from Dominican Republic would want to try something different, because a lot of people, you know, like say, we want to see a Jamaican place. And I respect that. I may not be Jamaican, however, Jamaica has done such a wonderful job in promoting their cuisine and their recipes and to the diaspora and beyond, that everyone, when they think of Caribbean food, they think of Jamaican food. And I'm here to try to spread that idea around the entire Caribbean, because there's so much other food that there is. Trinidad has their doubles. You know, Trinidad has a lot of food. Guyana has their roti, you know, and they have the oil down. You know, Antigua has, you know, the fungi and the pepper pot and all of that kind of stuff. And those are the things that I sold at Freetown Road Project when I had it in Jersey City, just to try to represent Caribbean food in general. I think that it's a real loss for us to try to just close it into one island. And I'm being out here, we're already enjoying the vibe. The neighborhood is giving us such a great attitude. But you know, New York this is my first business in New York, and you know, it shows, because there are a lot of things. There are stops, there are goes, there are high times, there are down times, and I have to follow the books. You can't do things, you know, that are not proper. That's for me, that's for the city, and then that's for the people. So of course there are a couple things that go wrong. There are a couple of stops. It takes a long time, but you know, when it's really open, we really want to be a destination, not only for Caribbean people, but for anybody in the area that's looking to get authentic flavors, you know, as well as when chefs try to open their own restaurant, they're trying to put forth their joy in food. And I feel that people are missing out from a lot of the food that I grew up on, and I'm lucky to be an American as well, because being born here, you know, I don't know if you remember, but I had my Taylor ham when I was growing up, you know, in Jersey. I've had my full of diners. You know, they don't have diners in many other places, but in the tri-state area, there are diners that you can go in and get breakfast all day and things like that. And I think that that makes me appreciative of where I was born here in the States. However, when I go back to Antigua, they don't have running water all day. They'll have running water in the morning, and if you don't do everything in the morning, by the nighttime, you're not taking a shower. You're not washing those dishes. You know, so it's a big contrast, but the food from over there is amazing. The things that they can do with natural ingredients, it actually is the reason why a lot of Caribbean folks live until 100. Because the food is, it's energy, ginger, you know, tamarind, even the processed cheeses and things that are over there, because there's a dish called bun and cheese that a lot of Caribbean folks eat, and it's a raisin bun that you cut in half, and then you put butter, and it's this like soft butter that's a little salty, but it's made straight from the cow. Like it's pasteurized and everything, but it's less processed than it is in the States. And then there's a cheese. It comes in a can. I don't know if you guys know about this. I know all my Caribbean people know that cheese. It's processed cheese in the can. It's a Jamaican can of cheese. And you open it up and it comes out in a clump, but I guarantee you, it's the best cheese you'll ever have. It could kind of resemble Cheese Whiz, but you put that in between that bun and you eat that and you have some bush tea with it, which they have 7 different kinds of bush. They have sugar apple bush, they have sour sap bush, they have fever grass, they have Christmas bush. There's so many different, there's such a rich of little islands that have things on them that help the people sustain. And you know, that's the basis of like why I cook. I have a degree in special effects and motion graphics from the Art Institute. And I took that and then I moved back up here and realized that I was cooking all through college. So, you know, food just runs through my veins. It's like second nature to me. As you can see when I'm cooking, I almost can talk. I don't remember the dishes that I made. I don't remember making them because I've not only done it so many times, and I've perfected my dish enough that I could do anything else while I make it. Yeah, I might burn myself. That happens. That happens all the time. But it really is something for the soul. So like just being here to cook the food is therapy for me. I think that not cooking and not trying to do the hard things, because you know hard things are worth it. Not trying to do things like this and stress and all the hardship in order to get this to the people is worth it. It's worth getting up in the morning and driving 40 minutes from New Jersey to New York, and then it's worth it, you know, getting together with people who want to get my story out, and you know, 2 different people from 2 different areas, just like you know the show that I'm on now here. I'm grateful because we've had to postpone this many a times because I'm grinding, but I have an opportunity to come in here and it's a blessed moment and we get to record, you know, what really happens. You know, this is what really happens, and I'm a product of what really happens, good and bad, but I learn from each and every one of them. So I would advise you all, you know, to come check us out. We're at 1548 St. Nicholas Avenue in Fort Lee in Manhattan in New York, my first New York business. You know, when you do come, feel free to ask for me, Claude. I'll most likely be here, but we're going to be decking out the front with a lot of vibes. We're going to make it into a lounge. We're going to hold dinners. We're going to hold events and all kinds of things. So stay tuned to what we do.
Hello guys, listen, we're at the end of the show where I get to try the meals out. This was a phenomenal episode and I'm really proud of Chef Claude just, you know, inviting us in. Chef Claude, thank you for having us.
Of course, no problem.
Do you realize when you were going, people were coming in and grabbing like menus and stuff?
Yeah.
So this place is happening. It's in a beautiful location. I really appreciate it. It brings a beautiful vibe. But you guys know what's going on right now, right? It's time to taste the food. Chef Claude, let me have it.
All right, so we have here the jerk chicken Rasta Pasta.
Okay.
And then I have some more food for you, so don't fill up.
Ooh, my jerk chicken Rasta Pasta. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that is good. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, damn. Yo, this is good. This is good. All right, I'm gonna give another mouthful of people. This is so damn serious. Yeah, this is serious. Wow, wow, wow. Don't try to stop me from eating. All right.
I love that.
All right, I'm gonna put this down for a second. That is so close. Seriously, that is really good.
Thank you.
That is really freaking good. I'm not BSing. That is good. That's the
yes,
right?
this is a curry goat.
Oh my God! I know y'all envy me. God. I'm gonna try the potato first.
The potatoes are the best part. Making them jealous though.
Oh, that is really freaking good. Damn.
It's all about the tenderness of the goat, you know? It can't be chewy.
Oh. Wow. I'm sorry, guys. This is amazing.
He's eating it right, though.
I got questions for you. I don't want to put the plate down, but I got questions. So, put it down for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to be greedy, I'm going to start more of this right here. These dishes be spoiling you.
That's it, you know, when you go on vacation, that's why vacation is calling you too, because you go and get this food. But if you can get it right here around the corner.
So this is here. I mean, you made it here, but this is going to be here on a regular basis.
This is on the regular menu.
So, Chef Claude, seriously, I drive up to City Island and get seafood. I'm definitely coming from Far Rockaway to your spot.
Thank
This
you.
is serious. This is serious.
Thank you.
God, man. I got questions for you.
Yes.
So let me ask you some questions, all right? Who is so good? Who inspired you to cook? Like, what inspired you to cook? Was it a certain? Would you?
Well, you know, really, it was my parents.
Okay.
You know, growing up, I was lucky to still have a lot of Caribbean influence in my home.
You just say yeah.
And because of that, you know, they still talk with the accent after 50 years. And, you know, I couldn't in the beginning understand what my aunts and uncles were saying, but as I got older, it was more comforting to hear them talk rather than talk in a more American accent.
Yeah.
So it kind of inspired me, the culture inspired me. My parents have given everything. So my father moved from Antigua and worked here for 3 years in New York and New Jersey by himself. And then after a while, he moved my entire rest of the family, my brother, my sister, and my mom and her sisters and brothers over here. And then I was born. I'm actually the firstborn child here in the States. So, you know, the opportunity they gave me, they worked 3 jobs each, you know, to be able to live in Jersey City in the 80s. And I would watch them, you know, my mom worked for Isotoner Gloves. She worked three sacrifices, super sacrifices for me to go to Catholic school, for me to be an ROTC. I'm an Eagle Scout. I got to go to Florida and go to school. I got to go to 5-star bank basketball camp. I went to St. Anthony's High School and played with Mr. Hurley, and then I went to Hudson. So I am absolutely a blessed individual, and my way to show them thank you is to promote the culture.
The beauty of you is that you recognize that. You recognize that a lot of sacrifices had to be made for you to get this far. And, you know, I'm sure they're proud of you. Just by you, you know, what you formed into, just your humbleness. You know, the beauty of this is that he's been on TV already. And he could have looked at my show and been like, nah, I don't want to do that. But he didn't. Let's talk about when I first actually saw you. You were coming off of the event.
The food festival, the Antigua and Barbuda Culinary Month.
Yeah. So I was really impressed with that. You probably spoke about it a little bit, but how was that experience overall? I mean,
that experience might actually be the best culinary experience I've ever had.
Wow.
So being on Chopped in 2019, now we're in 2025. You know, 6 years, that gets old. And you know, I have not been back on because I believe that once you're on a bunch of shows, there's a clause that you can't be on another show for a year. So if I was on 3 shows and within 2 years, then I probably had to wait like 4 or 5 years to be able to get back on another show. And so what am I going to do to stay current? And so I had this opportunity to go and represent, and they showed me so much love. It was crazy. So I made sure that I rolled out correctly. I had a chef that I very much respect from Barbados come with me. And we planned, and you know, really the execution was, of course there were ups and downs. They didn't have a kitchen for us to cook in, so we had to cook, and we had to cook things outside. And I had culinary students that I was mentoring, so they helped plate things. And you know, really with prayer and with hard work and dedication, we really did some beautiful things. I also got to do a collaboration dinner with Andy Oliver from UK, who's mega star, but a sweetheart. And to be on the ticket with me and her doing a collaboration dinner I was totally blown away. And not only that, but she's an amazing person. I learned from her, and I got to do a dish that, a stuffed pasta. I did an angolodi pasta, bun and cheese. So I did the cheese inside the pasta, I did the regular pasta, and then I did a cinnamon cream, and I did a raisin cream. I'll also send you those pictures.
Yeah.
But that experience, I worked on that dish for 4 months in order to do something that creates impact. And that dish literally got me on Forbes magazine. It got me, it got Antigua and Barbuda, that culinary month, on another level, where, no, we're not playing games. And yes, there are riches of culinary food and culture in Antigua and Barbuda. And so that's, I'm just really proud that I had an opportunity to be there to show them what I got. And I think that I succeeded in, yes, I was on Food Network Chopped, but I don't always have to say that now, because there are more things that I have done to kind of, make myself stand out a little bit.
Got you. Let me ask you a question to follow up on that. Was there some pressure on you, because you're out there, but you really don't have the accent? Was there some pressure on you, like, I gotta really be on point? Did you feel any pressure?
Absolutely. Okay. I always feel pressure because tourism works with me a lot.
Okay.
And they take the chance on me, knowing that I may not have the accent, but I think they appreciate that I talk very clear.
Okay.
Because then what I say really carries. It's hard to understand Caribbean accent when someone is deep. Yeah. It's very authentic, but it's definitely difficult. And to see somebody like me represented wholeheartedly, yes, I'm a Jersey boy. I represent America. My flags are Antigua and America, and I'm proud to be an American. Yeah. However, my heritage and where I come from, every fiber of my being is Antiguan. Gotcha. And so it is difficult, but all great things are difficult.
No, I understand. Going on your Facebook page and looking at some of your dishes, you're very well rounded. I mean, if you go on his page, you'll see like different styles of dishes. So you definitely get down and just, like, I was really impressed. I was like, wow, like that, whoa. And it's funny because off of that, that's when I reached out to you, and it took a minute to get us going. I know you're busy. My thing was, let me get him before he hits the ground running. But I really appreciate this segment so much. But I got another question for you.
Yes.
Give me a dish, because this is phenomenal. I've seen your stuff on Facebook. Seen articles. Give me a dish that kind of gave you a challenge or gives you a challenge to make. And I asked all the chefs on the show and cooks on the show that one dish that you're like, ugh. I had a guy one time who he goes down to the kitchen, but he couldn't make rice. So is there one dish? And if you don't have one, you could be like, nah.
The dish that always gave me problems was curry chicken. I could never make my mom's curry chicken. And she would use the little winglets and the potatoes. That's why I said the potatoes are everything. But I didn't know the potatoes are everything, because curry chicken is not just throwing the curry powder in water. Okay. So what I would see, a lot of people just put a bunch of water, throw curry powder in there, and then throw the chicken in there, and voila, you're gonna have curry chicken. That's not how it's done. I had to learn from my mom, like they say, I had to learn from her hand.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I had to learn from my mom that you have to bloom the curry in water, let it sit. It has to release the flavors, or else it's gonna taste real strong and tart. Exactly. And then you have to saute the onions with the curry so that the onions and the curry flavor meld. That's when you put a little bit of water and you throw the chicken in, and then you mix the chicken. It's almost like if you're doing some sort of beef dish. Then once you put a little bit of water, you don't put too much water. People put too much water thinking that it's going to reduce down. You put a little bit, you let it cook up, it bubble. The potatoes go in there as well. That adds some more, and if you want, you can put chickpeas, you can put lentils. Those are the thickeners. You don't put cornstarch in your curry chicken. Okay. And when I was in college, I was dying to get some of my mom's curry chicken, so I would make it over and over and over. Yeah. And it would be watery, or it'd be strong, or the chicken wouldn't be cooked correctly. And so I've tried, that's a dish throughout my entire lifetime, since I was 17 years old, that I had been trying to perfect. Okay. And the crazy thing is, opening that restaurant in Jersey City, I said to myself, Mom, I'm gonna stand right next to you.
Wow.
And
That's
she told me, she was like, well, do this first. And they always, when they told me about blooming the curry, I was like, oh. And it's a method. You have to do it. It's a one pot meal, but you have to do it a certain way. The potatoes are everything because you throw them in right in the middle of when the chicken's cooking, and then when that curry is starting
there's a window.
There's a window, because
Wow.
then it won't cook so much that it falls apart. They stay solid, and that's why they're green. It's so green that it looks like a piece of meat.
Yeah.
But it's still solid. And you eat it, and it has the entire curry flavor, whatever proteins in it, all the beans. So the potatoes are actually the best part of any curry.
Okay.
You know, and that's why when people have vegetarian curry, they're fine with it. As long as you have some potatoes and lentils and chickpeas in there, and there you go with doubles. That's why doubles are so good, because because that veggie curry, the chana.
Yeah.
I used to serve a dish called chana and chips, where I would cut up roti chips, fry them up, and I would make chana, and there would be an appetizer for people to eat with pepper sauce. Because that chana, and it was very popular. That chana is the basis of all of my curry dishes.
Really?
I make vegetarian chana, and in this, it has lentils, carrots, and potatoes, and the curry and everything, and onions separate. And then you saw I put the goat in there.
Yeah.
So it's like, that was the hardest thing. I think curry in general was the hardest thing for me to grasp, because not only one island values curry, all of the islands value. And then one quick tip about curry is, in India, every different region of India has a different curry, because it's a curry leaf is not a curry, it's a leaf. And they all have different herbs and spices that create different curries. That's why Indian cuisine has red, yellow, green.
Wow, I heard that.
We adopted the green in the Caribbean. In Japan, they adopted the red, and they adopted the green as well. So, which is why they have a lot of different curry sauces.
Gotcha.
So, Indian folks don't prefer our curry because they don't consider it real, because we use the powdered.
Gotcha.
We don't use it. So I would say curry is like one of the dishes that had been the most difficult, and that's why now I'm so confident in my cooking, because I can cook anything from my culture. I can bake as well. I got black cake in here, which I'll send you home with.
Okay.
I got bread pudding. You know what I mean? We do sorrel, we do ginger beer, all that kind of stuff. You name it. I pretty much saltfish, chop up, fried dumplings. We have something in Antigua called.
All that's on the menu when people come here.
Not yet.
Okay.
It's gonna come, because we're actually, once we get this place stabilized, we're gonna get a bigger place.
Okay.
There was a place that was 6,000 square feet that my partner was like, hey, let's do this. But I said, let's start small,
Gotcha.
and then get people used to it. You know, because it's not about the dishes that I make; it's about who I train to make it.
Gotcha. Last question. What is the one dish, you're so well-rounded, that people have to have? Now, I just met you. I'm gonna say these two, but because these are phenomenal, man. Like this is serious. Like you're gonna see me again. I'm gonna come and purchase. But what is the one dish that? And I know it's a lot. So maybe give me two that people have to have. Well, let's go with family. Like, when you're home, what's the dish that your family's like, yo, we need to have that?
It's definitely curry chicken. Curry chicken is my end of the world last meal with rice.
Really?
Period. Yeah.
Really?
Extra gravy. Mad potatoes.
So, it's not either of these dishes that taste so phenomenal?
No. This I just tried to flex on you, so I made sure to taste it like 50 times. But and that's it's super original, because when you think of Rasta Pasta, you don't think of that.
Yeah.
But then you think of macaroni and cheese, you think of an Italian style creamy pasta.
Yeah.
And with my Italian background, that's why I created this dish, because it has the flavors of the Caribbean. But when you look at it, you're like, this looks like an Italian dish. And then when you eat it, it eats like an Italian dish, because the cheese is holding on to the pasta.
Cheese, got a little spiciness in there. That's phenomenal. They both these meals are phenomenal.
Thank you.
Listen, we're gonna pull up the show. He's a busy man. He's on a weekend, so we're gonna pull up the show. Listen, Chef Claude, I want to tell you again, thank you for being on, man.
No problem.
This is your platform. You ever want to come on again? And I'm going to be bringing some friends by when you're up and going, and we're going to spend some money here, because I want to support. And you're right, the location is everything. because even if Rockaway, we don't really have a lot of spots. I gotta come up with freaking for seafood. So we say I can go to Long Island, but Rockaway is not known for its spots, and we got
Right.
one place out there, and they kind of open when I'm not gonna say the name because I'm not trying to, but they kind of open when they want to open and close when they want to close.
That's a difficult thing.
That's and I get it. It's just I can easily look at them and be like, oh, I didn't know, but who knows what's happening behind the scenes. So I don't want to like bash them, but like you're in a perfect location. You're right up the bus, and we have people coming in. We have people coming in grabbing menus while he was filming the show. So this is going to be a great.
Thank
It's
you.
going to be great, brother. I just met you, but I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Proud of you.
I appreciate you.
Listen, when she know how to cook for you, Chef Claude shows you what you do. People, we are out of here. I'm gonna finish this up. You guys have a good night.